Hey, hey. It's your boy Crypto Blood, Off the Chain episode 31. We're gonna get started here in a second. We're playing some 10 Pound music.
Hey.
Courtesy of 10 Pound. So show him some love tonight. He will be co-hosting with me. So just hang in there tight, people. We'll start here in a second. I know you ain't got nothing to do tonight. Most of you can't go anywhere. So hang in tight. We'll start here shortly. Make sure you hit that like button. Hey, hey. Nacho Fool. What's going on, bro? Misinformation. Big Love in the Irish R&B singer. What's good, people?
You got Eddie One in it.
Eddie One.
Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Okay. Ready?
Fucking thing sucks. We'll do it live.
Okay. All right, people. Hope everyone's doing well this evening. I've got tonight 10 Pound. Like he needs any introduction. He's already like the co-host every week.
Yeah.
So 10 Pound, what's good, man? Thank you for the music, man. That's dope music we're rocking out to right now.
I appreciate you for playing it, my guy.
I'm gonna leave a link for you guys to check out his music on SoundCloud right now. I'm dropping it in the chat room. Check his music out. But yeah, man, what's good, man? It's kind of crazy out here, ain't it?
It is, yo. And I think Jane Bond, yo, she hit the nail on the head.
Hit the nail on the head, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Let's take a shot for Jane Bond.
For real, for real. Like, it is what it is.
So I actually talked to her a couple of days ago via text. She called me, but I didn't even have her number saved, so I didn't answer. But I did talk to her, and we're gonna put something together next week for sure for everyone out there for some updates, because as you stated, 10 Pound, she was on point. She said the lockdown was going to come to California. It happened. She said it was going to come to New York. It happened. Only place it didn't happen yet was Washington State. But, you know, the bond stuff she was on point with. I mean, everything.
Oh, bro, it was insane, dude, the amount of money that was fleeing the bond market just 2 days ago.
Insane.
Like, absolutely mind-blowing. I looked at the data and I couldn't believe my eyes, yo.
They did 3 interventions on Friday alone. What is going on?
It's a bailout, bro. It's an absolute bailout. Like, dude, these are turbulent times for the bond markets. And I think we might be seeing some hyperinflation coming soon following this, my dude.
Absolutely. I think so. What's going on right now, guys, that I'm seeing is, you know, on Friday, the Fed did open up, I think, 8 more countries for swaps, FX swaps. So essentially what they're trying to do is alleviate some of the pressure, the buying pressure on the dollar, and it's just making the dollar go higher and higher. Now that you would think the government would like strong dollar, but actually they want a weaker dollar. So it's like this balancing act they're trying to do, man. It is, you can't plug all holes at once, you know, and it's just going to end so horribly, man. So horribly.
It's going to be bad. I mean, we'll see what happens, you know. I think this is a planned demolition, honestly, at this point. It's got to be a planned demolition. I heard that they've got some top secret information to move operations away from Washington because some lawmakers already have tested positive for the coronavirus. But, I mean, like, that's just my evaluation from there.
Yeah, I did hear that some a person in the West Wing, I think, with Biden tested positive, right?
For the most part.
So you know Biden probably got it, man. Biden probably got it.
This dude said that it's above his pay grade to talk about coronavirus. It's like, yo, how you gonna say that when you're running to be president of the United States of America?
Who is this?
Joe
Biden?
Biden. Yeah, that's
Oh,
what
you
he
talking
said,
about Biden? I'm
man.
sorry, I'm talking about Pence. I
Oh,
mean Pence.
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 Oh, okay.
Pence probably got it. Oh, I got something on Biden. You
Mm-hmm.
guys remember that? Biden said that he was going in on Trump for
Mm-hmm.
closing the China flight route. He was
Yep.
calling it xenophobic and all that. Let's check this out really quickly.
Coronavirus emanated from China. A national emergency, worldwide alerts. The American people need to have a president who they can trust what he says about it, that he is going to act rationally about it. In moments like this is where the credibility of the president is most needed, as he explains what we should and should not do. This is no time for Donald Trump's record of hysterical xenophobia,
You can't even say it right.
and fear-mongering.
Oh man.
Crazy, man.
Wow. Well, hey, I'm not all peachy rosy about Trump either. We're gonna talk about that tonight because Trump dropped the ball for sure. Even though he did jump out there initially to close off flights from China, I think he kind of thought that was gonna be. He didn't keep going. He wasn't. You know what I'm saying? He didn't keep going with it. You can't just shut the flights off from China and think everything is okay. You got flights coming in from Italy. You got flights coming in from Canada, all over the world. And so, I don't think he really took it that seriously, even though he did that. But
For sure.
shout out to Squeaky G, J Crypto Minded. What's going on, people?
Hey.
So
What
let's
Yeah.
go ahead, man. What do you want to start with tonight, man?
Yeah, let's go ahead and roll in with Trump, man. What Trump was doing, how he was informed about this pandemic, and he didn't move fast enough. He was actually downplaying it to the crowds at rallies and whatnot. Let's go over that information, bro. That story.
Okay, and I think you're talking about the one out of Business Insider. If
Absolutely.
I'm not mistaken.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, I'm dropping this in the link in the chats now for you guys to follow along if you want. But Business Insider's article about it says that intelligence officers were warning Trump about a pandemic as early as January, but they couldn't get him to do anything about it. That sounds about right. That sounds like Trump. I'm not gonna lie. He already thinks everyone is against him. So, when you think everyone's against you, you're gonna be skeptical of everything.
For the most part. And
right?
I think he wasn't just being skeptical. He was also literally just kind of being ignorant about the matter of fact that people were trying to get him to get his pandemic response team back on board, because he said in previous interviews that he could just hire them back on when he needed them. And he actually failed to do that and just tossed the responsibility to Mike Pence. So, I mean, it is what it is. Plus, other people that were getting this information, the same briefings, were making some serious business decisions and moves in the background. I think.
Yeah, it just exposes everyone. You got the senators out here trying to take advantage of this briefing. It looks like this may be the same information that Trump got, that the senators were privy to back in January, and we'll talk about that as well. They did some insider trading, but the article says that U.S. intelligence community was warning President Donald Trump about an impending pandemic as early as January. Officials were giving Trump classified briefings on the matter. At the same time, the president was publicly downplaying the risk of the novel coronavirus and insisting that U.S. was well prepared to handle the outbreak. Do you have a problem with that part, though? Like, as a leader, right, you're supposed to save face. You're supposed to kind of keep people calm. Do you have an issue with? I don't have an issue with him doing that at the beginning, but it looks like what he was speaking was what he was doing behind the scenes as well, which is absolutely nothing more.
Absolutely, you're right. I don't have a problem with it because I don't really have the ability to, actually critique the way he moved forward with this. I'm not in his shoes. I don't know what else he had on his plate. We got a hotbed in the Middle East right now. North Korea fired off another missile. Like he's probably been briefed on tons of different things. He probably wasn't expecting this to blow up and to escalate as fast as it did. Like he was talking about how this might die down by spring, but actually it escalated before spring. So, I can't really judge him on that, I gotta say. So it's outrageous what's going
Squeaky
on.
G says he should not have passed VP Pence the torch on this one. I agree.
Oh, no way, bro.
I agree.
He shouldn't have right there. That's something I can judge him on. Like, he definitely should have just hired back the pandemic response team like he said he would. But these things happen.
Yeah, I don't know why he did that. You know, I maybe he doesn't trust many people in Washington. You know, he wanted to keep the circle close, but that was a bad move to have Pence. Pence don't know what he's doing, man.
Not at all. But I think it wasn't. I don't think it was that. I think he was trying to save money. He was cutting the CDC budget. He was cutting the WHO budget. You know, he got rid of.
Okay, let's talk about that because I went and did some more research on that. And come to find out, that was in the plans to cut the CDC budget, but it never was. So by the time the pandemic came, they ended up increasing the budget for the CDC. So that budget cut was never implemented.
Okay.
That's what the rumor was going around that he cut CDC and that's why they couldn't do. No, CDC is just incompetent. They're just corrupt. They're in bed with I don't know who the hell they're in bed with. But the FDA is in bed with all these pharmaceutical companies. It's just a bunch of stuff going on, man. I think this virus is really exposing people.
For sure. I completely agree with that. And apparently drugs are being priced and marked up for treatment of this virus. Like, a lot. Like, we're talking like hundreds of percentage points just for profit, sheer profit of these corporations that are in bed with the FDA. And actually, there's some ventilators that won't actually be used to save people's lives from the coronavirus in the United States because it's not approved by the FDA. So there's a lot of like bureaucratic nonsense going on, stopping people from getting the treatment that they deserve. I mean, honestly, it's a revolving door in Washington, man. That's what it comes down to.
Do you think we need to change our structure in Washington, meaning from the term limits for like presidents and stuff? What do you think about that? Because I feel like if I have a vested interest in being in office for perpetually, I'm gonna do a little bit more. I'm gonna be able to, I think, kind of change the deep state narrative and push back on them, because the deep state is persistent because they know every 4 years or every 8 years they're going to get it's a revolving door, so they can keep their power.
Yep, you're right about that. That's tough. I don't want to say something that's going to get me assassinated, bro. That's what it comes down to. Y'all live in this bubble, bro. Hey, where you at? You cool. You can probably voice an opinion, but I ain't going there. Nah, dude, I'm falling back.
Oh, come on, Tim Pound.
Yo, here's the thing, man. No matter what anybody says, like, we ultimately don't have the decisions of what's going on and the underworkings, the underpinnings of the federal government and the deep state. I honestly think that this market is currently imploding because the deep state wants it to happen. Like, honestly. When it comes down to it, at the end of the day, like, the president is being briefed on these situations, but like, he's not actually like, making these plays. He's not making these plays. There's no way. He's all over the place.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, he has some say, but like you said, in most cases there's checks and balances. There are the different branches of government that has a checks and balance with this thing, and that's why I almost rather see Trump go up against Bernie Sanders than Biden, because even though Bernie Sanders has a socialist ideology, right, he won't be able to get much of that done because the Congress it's a checks and balance. So any crazy stuff that he comes up with would never get past Senate or Congress, I should say.
For the most part, I mean, there are some things that he did get through the House and the Senate, and it actually, kind of put the fire under Amazon, Jeff Bezos, his tush, to say the least, and it actually worked. The fight for 15, and he's also authored a bunch of bills for veterans' rights and whatnot. So I'd say that he's not really so socialist. I think he's centered because, like, when it comes down to it, his policies are overwhelmingly popular with the majority of the country. And let's talk about socialism, my guy. Like, yo, I remember not too long ago, CPAC which Trump and Pence went to, yo. Both of them went that, bro. Both of them went to that conference. It was in the Washington D.C. bubble. They were waging this war on socialism. You know what I'm saying?
But guess what they're doing right now?
They're going socialist, bro.
They're full social, dude. Is there any difference between Trump and basically Washington period and Bernie Sanders? Is there any difference?
Bro, they even got the Fox News pundits going on TV talking about how universal basic income is the best. You should totally adopt this ideology.
Oh, man.
Yo, bro, dude, this is hyperinflation.
But what this should let everyone out there understand is this: when stuff hits the fan, they do what they all that talk, all that I'm this, I'm that. These are our core values as a Republican and as a Democrat. I'm gonna do all that goes out the door, bro.
Yeah.
When they're trying to save the system which they benefit from, I hear a lot of people talking about this is the globalist reset. They're that sound like Alex Jones. You know what I'm saying? Like Trilateral Commission and blowing bar. No, they're trying to save this thing. In my opinion, this is a scramble, bro. They're literally trying to save this and do whatever the helicopter money. We'll talk about that. Give $1,000 to every person. Doesn't look like trying to collapse the system.
They're trying to bail out the system, if anything.
Trying to bail out the system. They're trying to keep this thing going.
But still, I do think this is a collapse in the sense that they're telling people not to go to work for 2 weeks, bro. That's a lot of time. Like, bro, that's a whole paycheck. Like, come on, bro. Americans, I know, I agree. But, dude, here's the thing. Americans aren't actually prepared for an emergency like this. They're, like, majority of Americans don't even have a $500, like, savings that they can dip into in case of an emergency. Like, these people are literally living just in time, paycheck to paycheck. They need this money. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it comes down to at the end of the day.
It surprises me that the sense of urgency doesn't seem to be there with Congress and the White House with getting this stimulus package passed, because, I mean, like you said, people literally don't have $400. So I just heard here in Michigan, 55,000 people filed for unemployment this past week. That's not including, the people that couldn't get in on the system to do it, right? I'm hearing crazy numbers out of California. I'm hearing crazy numbers in New York. I got a guy that I follow on Twitter and said this week, he's like, just lost my job this week. Educated guy, just lost my job. I lost 2 of my secondary, tertiary streams of income, and he said all I got left is my rent for my my two properties that I have, and he's like, I hope they pay. And how can they pay if everyone's laid off? So he's he's getting hit from multiple sides. He needs that money like now. People out here need that money now.
Absolutely. See, that's one of the reasons why I say that this is a collapse by the deep state, because they're mandating this, my guy. They're absolutely mandating it. If it wasn't a mandate, I mean, like, these people probably wouldn't be getting laid off. You know what I mean? Especially for like 2 weeks for an entire bill cycle, bro. Like, sure, there's a conspiracy where people are like, oh, yes, the Bilderbergers, the globalists, they want to collapse America and then rebuild it. Yeah, for sure, I get it. There are crazy folks out there like that. They're like trying to make this huge conspiratorial argument. But I think, really, that somebody decided that this is the memo, send this to the president, that let it be done. And we're going to have the military out on the streets to enforce this. And that's what's going on in New York right now.
Right. So Sunday, tomorrow, we're recording Saturday night. Tomorrow, New York City. Is it New York City or New York State?
I believe it's
the whole state.
Both. Yeah, man. I think it's the whole state.
The whole state is going. Yeah, whole state going on lockdown. Stay in place is what they call it. Shelter in place.
Yeah, shelter in place.
A little nice, pretty word. This means quarantine, lockdown, can't go anywhere. I understand why they're doing it from an epidemiology standpoint, from the from that standpoint, it makes sense. They're trying to flatten the curve, they say, right? Try to get people to stay home and not spread the virus because it is very virulent. And so you're gonna have people. I was watching David Icke, on London Real.
Yeah.
Did you see that interview?
Yeah. I did not, but I'm gonna look it up, man. David Icke is the real one, bro. That
Yeah,
guy.
I like him, but
Yeah.
you know, he was like, he's all skeptical of the virus and stuff. I'm like, in my head, I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, bro, like everything, you know, so many people, in my opinion, 10 pound are suffering from that causation correlation fallacy.
Mm-hmm. Of
You
course.
know, when is it not a conspiracy theory? Is what I have to ask those people.
Mm-hmm. I get it. But I mean, really, let's think about the mainstream narrative, okay? Because that's what most people go to when it comes down to the idea of the understanding the basis of why things are happening. The deep state and the mainstream apparatus wants to believe that somebody in China ate a bat and then this virus spread from there. I mean, like,
I personally think it was bioengineered, but does that
mm-hmm.
mean it was leaked on purpose? Doesn't necessarily have to mean it was leaked on purpose. It could have
Mm-hmm.
been leaked by mistake
Yep.
and bioengineered. It could have been leaked by on purpose and bioengineered. So there are a number of scenarios that we'll never probably know which happens. I don't know, man. You guys go ahead and chime in if you guys want to talk to us. Call us up 669-900-6833. The code is 169-861-119. I thought we had a caller earlier. They hung up. So if caller, you want to call back, definitely do that.
Hey, but check it out. We already talked about how New York is closed up for business, but what about these deaths in Singapore, my dude? Let's go and pull up this Bloomberg article. Talk about this for a minute. That's crazy. Singapore just witnessed their first death. No.
Yeah, it's funny because I was watching something last night, and it was you know this stuff moves so fast. I was watching a video of a guy that was in Singapore, and I guess the channel I was watching was, I think it's something like Black in Japan or something. I don't know if you ever seen this guy, but I guess he has a vlog or whatever. He's a black guy that lives in Japan. But anyway, he was interviewing a black guy in Singapore. And the Singaporean guy, he was like, "Yeah, you know, we're showing the world how it can be mitigated and quarantined and blah 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 blah. We have 0 deaths." And literally this morning, I see they got their first couple of deaths.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts on that?
Man, I think that it's tragic, you know, but it just shows you how resilient and swift this virus is to move, and how you can't simply just stop it, you know. There's a guy by the name of Chris that does videos on peak prosperity. He calls it the honey badger virus.
Yeah, I like Chris.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Chris,
I like
yeah, dude. He's a really bright guy, bro. And it is what it is, man. Like, it will not sit still. This virus will keep it moving, bro. Like, it's crazy. Like, and the effects can go undetected for so long, man. People live with it, and they probably don't even know they have it.
That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
That is the issue that I'm having, and where it's going to be very hard to mitigate this virus, man. So this article from Bloomberg essentially is just talking about, you know, the U.S. very close on an aid deal, and we got Europe. Cases are skyrocketing in Europe as well. So looks like, man, did you see that jump in Italy?
Oh man, bro,
19%.
Yeah, dude, insane. Like,
I think it just exposes
China.
It exposes China. Exactly. It exposes China.
There's no way that China has as many cases and deaths as they're claiming that they have, especially with what's going on in Italy. That's impossible. Logical fallacy can literally prove that that's what they're doing. They're bungling the numbers. And in fact, there are some state media outlets in China that are doing reporting showing official documents where, you know, the CCP is actually really bungling the numbers. They're committing to,
I saw that.
Yeah, fraudulent information. And there's multiple lawsuits going on because of this information, bro. It's insane.
Yeah, there's a firm in Florida that's, I think, suing China, CCP.
Yes.
They're not going to get anywhere with it, but, I mean, it's a good gesture. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand why you would try to do that. I think the whole world needs to turn on China. I think the whole world needs to really isolate them again. They need to go back into the dark ages. Not the Chinese people. It's not their fault. But the Chinese people need to overthrow the CCP. and then we can let them back into this global economic
Dude,
situation.
I'm avoiding Tencent, man. I'm avoiding TikTok. I'm avoiding all that shit, bro. Like, I don't want anything to do with any data getting siphoned to the CCP at all right now, bro. Like, I'm boycotting that shit. Like, it is what it is, bro.
I feel you. As you should. I mean, like I said, I think the world is going to boycott a lot coming from China here in a second. Let's get this call on the line. It's your boy Crypto Blood. We got 10 Pound on tonight. Who's calling in? You there?
What up?
Hello.
Hey. Who's calling in?
Mic check 1 2. This is David calling in from Michigan. What's up?
Michigan in the house. What's going on, man?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well.
Where are you
I'm tuning in.
Where are you in Michigan? Where are you in Michigan?
I'm about to be quarantined in Kalamazoo, man.
Okay.
Yeah. How about you?
I'm in Metro Detroit area.
Okay, positive, man. Yes, I'm tuning into your channel right now, man. It's pretty interesting stuff that you guys got going on here.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on the situation going on with this coronavirus?
To be honest, man, my thoughts. Are we talking quarterly, 6 months, a year?
Yeah, throw it out there. Let us know. What do you think? Where do you think we'll be in 3 months?
In 3 months, man. Depending on the industry. Let's talk about industries real quick because I'm in
nice.
various industries. So like, I think this is a beautiful time for entrepreneurism.
Really?
Because everyone's at ground zero. Everyone. So you're back's up against the wall. You either learn how to do it, or you end up being part of that socialistic crap where they're talking about giving everybody $1,000 a month. So I think it's a really beautiful space for entrepreneurism, musicians, people that understand, like bedroom producers right now. This is a badass time for bedroom producers because it's like, you got bedroom producers sitting on content waiting to, for someone to discover them. Everyone's on the internet right now. Go out, release music.
Hold on. Help me out. What the hell is bedroom producers? Is that a porno? Is that a porno or?
No, it's not a porno.
Okay,
it's not a porno. You got kids who are 16, 17, 18, all of maybe 25, 30 years old, producing from home, producing beats. You know what I mean? Like in their bedroom. Like look at this. Look at like some of Migos' producers, man. You know what I mean? Like some of those guys produce those beats from their bedroom and sent it to them, and now they're raking in millions off of royalties and copyright. So
okay, let me let 10 Pound chime in because he's not a bedroom producer, but he's a real producer. What are your thoughts about what?
Yo, when it comes down to it, like this is actually a colleague of mine. This is David.
Okay.
In fact, man, I know what's up. I know this dude. But yeah, when it comes down to it, he's right. But it's not just people that are producing music.
It looks like we lost 10 Pound there. Caller, are you still there?
Those animations, they're doing whatever they can do, hustling. What?
Oh, we lost you there for a minute.
Okay, well, I'm back. Excuse me, my dude. So yeah, when it comes down to it, people just like hustling, doing whatever they got to do in the form of media, and I think that's what he's saying so far. Big media is probably going to be striving through this crisis because of the advent of the internet and telecommunications, and how people can literally stream information all around the world from the comfort of their own home now. I mean, we're seeing it with other YouTube channels, not just yours, Crypto Blood, but like bigger channels such as TYT. They're literally doing their show from the comfort of their own home, collaborating over telecommunications like we're doing right now. These people have literally been forced into their bedroom because of quarantine, if you will. You know what I'm saying? So.
Okay, so question though, fellas, because I thought about this. I thought about the entertainment world, and I said, man, this is a situation where even entertainment has been greatly affected by this, and I've never seen this happen in any recession. Normally, entertainment is a prosperous line of business to be in. These guys can't do shows. These entertainers, these artists can't do shows. How is that going to change how their business model looks. What do you think is going to happen now?
I'm thinking.
Well, Pat, I'll let you answer that. I'll let you answer that first.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm thinking payment gates through blockchain services. That's what I'm thinking. But nothing too expensive. Like people actually adopting the Satoshi or the Gwei, paying like a couple hundred Gweis or maybe like 50 Satoshis for access. But it depends on who and what audience you're trying to tap into, and how you plan on getting the word out. So
yeah, I mean, because rest in peace, Kenny Rogers, but Kenny Rogers fans ain't gonna be doing no live stream.
Of course not, bro.
Right.
So I guess maybe the younger artists will be better equipped for this situation. I guess. Yeah, I can see that. Any other words, Mike?
Well, I mean, again, industries, it depends on the industry that you're in. But I mean, again, entrepreneurs, man, I think, you think about voting, right? Let's think about population. We have 7.7 billion people on this planet. About 4.7 billion of those people are 18 and under, About 3.8 billion of those people are kids under 18. So, you think about the general population of the planet. We were already, this generation is already adapting entrepreneurialism fairly well, whether it's in leadership, whether it's in business development, whether it's in whatever industry. But entrepreneurs right now, the people that were all, even, e-commerce is struggling heavy right now. Look at Amazon, you know what I mean? eBay, these e-commerce. So it's like, it's building, it's entrepreneurs, AKA young people, are going to have to learn how to actually strive in a space where there's not like it's like trying to grow fruits and vegetables in a desert, right? There's not much. There's water, but you're gonna have to dig for it. And that's where I think the space is at right now, especially with entrepreneurs. I mean, we can talk about other industries. I think the supermarket industry is going to struggle heavy because farmers, let's think about farmers, you know what I mean? Those are people, they got their own farm, but if they don't have people to buy the produce to go stock the shelves, to get truck drivers to deliver it throughout the country, there's nobody buying it. So you're going to have a one-stop shop, like kind of how Amazon bought Whole Foods. It was a good acquisition, but on the same token, if there's not people buying food at the mass, like let's say you have a farmer that puts out 100,000 pounds a year from now, he's guaranteed not going to be putting out 100,000 pounds. Let's say that 100,000 pounds was making him $100,000, just to keep the numbers simple. His gross income is going to dwindle heavily by at least 75%. So he just went from making $100,000 a year to making $25,000 a year. That's just one industry. We think about farmers. Now let's think about the people that pick up the produce, bring it, the truck drivers. I just had a friend of mine, she was talking about becoming a truck driver, and, we were having a brief conversation about it. Like, if the farmers don't have income to farm and plant, then there are no truck drivers to drive the produce to the Walmarts and the CV and the ShopRites and the Aldis. Then you have, that's the truck driving industry. Then you have the supermarket industry. Let's talk about GDP. If they have 1,000 products in the store, they're not going to have that many products in the store because 90% of those freaking products come from China. So now you're talking about now you're talking about the supermarket industry. Now let's get even deeper. Now we're talking about consumers. Now we're talking about $1,000 a month stipend or whatever the hell you want to call it. Okay, some people's cost of living in New York City are $1,000. I'm from New York, bro. My cost of living was $2 a month. So $2,000, you give me $1,000 just to pay rent. What about my gas? What about my cost of living, my food, my dogs, my cats if I have any, my kids? You know what I mean?
And that's before inflation. That is before inflation from this.
Right. That's before inflation, exactly.
Bro, this $1,000, this is gonna be interesting because this $1,000 ain't gonna do nothing, bro.
Absolutely,
it's not gonna do nothing. Like they're gonna have to do it every week, every 2 weeks. But
they're talking about doing it on a monthly basis, though, right?
$1,000 a month.
I think that's what they said on the stimulus package at first, what they were announcing, but it's probably changed by now.
Oh, okay, it's $1,000 a month. Okay, yeah, well, that's still not gonna do it, man, and they're gonna have to go back and up it and up it and up it, and I think we're toward the end of this game, bro. It just exposed so much, so fast.
Right.
It was a shock to the system.
Absolutely.
Right.
And my man James James H said, this is hilarious actually. James H. I'm gonna try to scroll it down so people can see it on the screen. He said the Fed can't predict 3 rate increases, but they can do an excellent job at the coronavirus forecast. Yeah, no doubt. That's so true. That's so true.
Absolutely,
it's
man.
Ridiculous.
I mean, let's put some numbers into perspective here. We're talking $1,000 a month. Okay, so
what are you gonna what are you gonna do with $1,000? I saw someone in the chat room ask that earlier. I think Crypto Don Juan. He said, "What are you guys gonna do with the 1K, with the rack?"
Bro, that's a tough one, man. I mean, I'm an entrepreneur. I generally work from home. So I mean, I'll speak in my personal case. I mean, it's gonna go to cost of living. It's gonna go to my rent. I mean, they're talking about canceling rent too and car insurance, bro.
Yeah.
Like, come on, like
they're gonna nationalize entire industries with this bailout, bro.
Oh, but I thought this was capitalism. I thought this was.
Capitalism died in 08, bro. Capitalism died in 08.
Capitalism died in 08. Officially, it died in 08, no doubt. I agree.
It's outrageous.
So what am I gonna do with $1,000 a month, man? To be honest, bro, like I'm gonna just put it back into my company like I usually do. Honestly, bro, like
you're not gonna spend it though. That's the key. See, the issue is
I'm not gonna spend it. Hell no.
I don't know if this stimulus. Yeah, I don't know if this stimulus is to have people spend it or for a bridge to get them by. I'm trying to figure that out because they're not. If their goal is to have people get out into the economy and spend it ain't gonna happen.
I'll be honest with you. If they gave me if they gave me 1,000, bro, I'd buy a bunch of computer hardware and hit the pools. I'm gonna be real with you.
Right.
I get a GPU ASAP.
But here's the thing about us, though. We're talking from, we're blessed. We're talking from an entrepreneur. We're talking from an entrepreneurial mindset right now. You know what I mean? Like we're talking like what we're gonna do with it. But like, let's do some numbers real quick. There's 3.272 million people in the U.S. as of 2008. You do that times 1,000 a month. Let's do that times 12, bro. The country's gonna go like harder into a debt than it already is. Like, think about that. We already have a world debt calculator,
24 trillion.
Courtesy of, 10 Pound. He put me onto that, like that world debt calculator, bro. I watch that shit like once a week. Like, like when I saw that, bro, I went into the bank the other day, not the other day, like a month ago. And I was talking to one of the bank tellers about it. None of them had an idea of what this was. I was like, y'all work in the banking industry and you don't know what the world debt calculator is? I was like, what is going on here? What are they educating you guys on? Because it's like, y'all work in an industry. Yeah, you guys need jobs. You guys need income. You might like what you do. But look at how much you're in debt. You're working at the final front that gives out banknotes. Because people don't realize money is not currency. There's a totally different, it's like currency and money are two different things. When you get a $20 bill or a dollar bill or a $100 bill from the bank, that is a note. That is a note that you can go and exchange in the bank for silver or gold. Or what is
any other service, like, really?
Yeah, right. So the point I'm trying to make is it's like, when you think about,
these are Federal Reserve notes that we have out in circulation right now. That's what we have today are called Federal Reserve notes. They're backed by nothing. It's all an illusion. And, I think what we're having is, we got another caller. I'm going to get to him. You can stay on the line if you want, but what we have is a situation where, right now, other countries are fleeing into the dollar because they're scared. There's nowhere else for them to go. So that's why you got the Dixie above 103. Is the dollar's getting strong, right? But that won't last long. It's gonna go high, and then it's gonna crash. And when it crashes, over. When people pull from the dollar because they see us printing all this money, $1,000 a month. Why isn't any other countries? I don't hear anything about any other countries doing this. I don't know. Maybe they are.
Actually,
maybe they will.
Yeah, all central banks are actually literally printing their currency into oblivion right about now. Actually, when it comes down to
he said into oblivion. He said they're printing into oblivion.
Let me get this other caller really quickly. Hang on. Caller on the line. It's your boy Crypto Blood and 10 Pound tonight. Who's calling in?
The trader from Philly.
Oh man.
Hey,
Here we go, trader. What I call her? 10 pound.
Yo, Jane Bond.
Jane Bond.
Always coming correct. Yo, it is what it is.
Yo, like what is going? Like you called it. You called it. You called it. We're in unprecedented times. Is it over? Is it over? Did we jump from stage 3 to 5?
We're not in 5 yet.
Okay. So what intel can you give us tonight since this week of trading? What are you seeing?
Well, for me personally, I was just trading in and out of TLT. Nailed that trade. I'm looking at taking a long position in gold and silver right now.
Smart girl.
I don't have cell phone reception. I dipped out of Philly last week. So I'm out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, so you think this is about to go down then, huh? You're not going back to the trading floor Monday, huh?
No. Yeah, I haven't been at work the past week. Some of the brokers are asking me, can you work from home? And it's like, you guys, it's a little bit too late for that. I warned you all a month ago.
Wow. So, it's hard to work from home with when you're trading the latency, right?
Well, I would have to have a company laptop already set up, and I would have to have a company printer, and I would have to have all the staples, paperwork with the letterheads. But they didn't prepare and hook us up with any of that. And then there was a confirmed corona case in my neighborhood. So I told them, listen, I walk around and frequent around all these places as the same person that's been confirmed. I really don't want to get this. I'm going out to the sticks, 3 states over.
The thing is, unfortunately, all of us are most of us will probably get it. Just hopefully the strain ain't like Italy, because that scares me. If that's a different strain that's in Italy, man, we're doomed.
Well, it appears that there's 2-3 strains of it now. There's this guy named Dr. Paul Cottrell.
Yeah. He's from here. He's from Michigan. Yeah. He's from here.
He's doing pre-med or med at Harvard. Yep. But he has other degrees. He has 4 degrees under his belt.
I know.
One of his dissertations was in the liquidation and chaos issues surrounding Lehman. There's only a handful of people in this world that really understand that. He was putting the price target, let's say 6 weeks ago. He was saying VIX is going to hit 80 plus in a couple months.
It already happened.
He was putting SPX at 1,800.
Yeah,
so we're getting close to that.
Yeah, so Dr. Collier, or whatever his name is, he was actually on Stefan Molyneux's show. He was on Stefan Molyneux's show earlier this week, I think.
Yeah, I caught that one, podcast. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. So what's your take now? Where do you think we are with things? I mean, the Feds did some unprecedented things this Friday, all week really, but Friday they just went balls to the wall. I mean, three different interventions. They upped one of them. I'm just like, what the hell is going on? And then
markets keep going down.
say that again.
And then the markets just keep going down. It's just a consistent no confidence vote on what they're doing. And then did you see how they're going to be minting platinum coins?
No, I didn't hear about that one.
Google that real quick. They're
10 pounds. Did you hear about that?
Nope, but I'm not surprised actually.
Yeah, Congress recently passed something where they're going to be minting 1 trillion platinum coins, and then I think they're going to be using that as collateral for the Federal Reserve and the Treasury to do bailouts together.
Wow.
So I thought that
but what's that mint grade going to be for those coins? That's what it comes down to. Is it going to be the base platinum?
even these people still view these metals as monetary, like coinage. I think that's the important giveaway there, because a lot of people on like CNBC or Bloomberg are just tracking all over the metals year after year, saying, "Oh, it's an old relic. They're tied to the industrial sector now." So then it's just interesting how Congress passes that to mint 1 trillion platinum coins that use as collateral.
What
to do these
about what about the firm that went down this Friday morning, Ronin?
I have not heard of that. I'm a little bit behind on some of the news just because of packing up and fleeing.
I hear you.
Smart. She's so smart. Like, really.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel I got a headache right now, man. Like,
videos are already surfacing through like Twitter and YouTube of like looting that's already started.
Where, in Philly?
Like San Francisco, and then
yeah.
I haven't looked at it specifically in Philly, but I'm sure it's there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna go down. It's gonna get crazy. This $1,000, it's not gonna happen right now, like to the fullest. But once people get adjusted to saying, "Oh, I don't have a job, and all I'm gonna get is $1,000 a month," they're gonna panic, unless the Fed and Washington increases that amount. But then at what point does it stop? It's like we're backed into a corner.
Yep.
It's now we're doing QE for the citizens. We can't.
You know what I'm hearing in the background right now? I'm hearing the Soviet Union anthem playing. This isn't gonna stop. Like, they just opened the floodgates to all these handouts. Like, this is, I don't know, we're rapidly like moving through socialism. I mean, America was kind of already in a form of socialism.
Absolutely.
Because we had a lot of, like, subsidized for many years. But this is like putting, I don't know, it's just throwing devalued currency into everyone's hands. Like, I don't see how that's going to stop.
But here's the thing, it's not even in their hands, really. It's just on a digital screen. It's literally being typed into a computer. It's literally just monetary inflation through the form of computers, just digits. It's literally just a worthless cryptocurrency, pretty much. It's a shitcoin. I mean,
and that money, it's not really going to promote stimulus because people aren't going to use that to pay their rent. I mean, the average rent in America now is like, depending on where you live, between $600 to $4,000, depending if you're in a city or out in the countryside. And what people are going to do with that is they're going to be hoarding it, just buying basic goods and services to get by.
That's what I
said.
said.
Not like they're going to be buying a boat to put down and make a boat.
So let me bring you up to speed on what happened Friday morning. Ronin Capital, which is, I think, a prime broker, went under. I think it was a CME or one. Anyway, it was like almost like a night capital. Remember Night Capital went under in maybe 2012, 13, something like that. They had some trades blow up.
What were they over leveraged in?
They were over leveraged on the VIX. They had some crazy VIX. They had some VIX move position that just blew up on them. So they had to bail them out. They did that Friday morning. It's just crazy. Like, I think you're gonna start to see more and more of that. Like, how much money is enough? Is not enough. I don't know, man. It's just.
Well, that
we gotta get a vaccine quick. That's all I gotta say.
They have this program at my firm where you have like $2 or $3 million. You can go into this consistent shorting the VIX by standard deviation, and I'm concerned that like that department probably blew up in this.
Absolutely. Oh, man. I mean, do you think they ever imagined VIX hitting 80?
No way. No. Not in hell, bro.
This is crazy.
No chance in hell, my dude.
All businesses are going down. They are. This hit kind of my personal life. Like, my mom owns a business in the medical industry. They're specializing in a sector of it. And she just this past week had to like lay off all her employees and tell them go on unemployment, try to collect that 1,000, 2,000 thing a month. And for a few of the high performing ones, they'll just put you on standby. So my mom just like had to lay off like 20 something employees. And this isn't in a city. This is like in rural America.
Yeah, so and that's what we're hearing all around the country, man. And
this is not going to end well.
What really, I didn't even think about this until I saw them on CNBC all week. The restaurateurs, that's a big industry, and I didn't really think about that, but they've laid off so many people, and those are independent contractors. And how are they gonna get through this? So it's just so many knock-on effects that they better get a vaccine quick. That's all I gotta say,
bro. No, man, that's wishful thinking. It's not gonna work like that. It really won't work like that. Crypto blood. Like when it comes down to it, like we're gonna see a breakdown of the global economy. Like a business is closed for a while. Like. So I think the logistics of a vaccine is probably going to come late Q3, maybe Q4 if we're lucky. But remember,
how long do you think how long do you think these lockdowns are going to be around?
I'm not entirely sure. I can't estimate.
At least a month.
But a month is not going to do anything. It's literally it has to be like 2-3 months.
I agree. I'm with you. I agree on that. Just so far, a lot of businesses and whatnot, they're planning for at least a month. Some schools are saying don't even come back until fall semester.
Some schools are
like all summer.
Some schools are actually giving kids laptops and doing internet classes, which I am all for personally.
Yeah, my daughter, she's doing school from home. So we don't know when she's going back. They say April something, but I know that's going to get pushed out. Nothing's going to change. Actually, we're just now getting to the exponential growth part of this whole thing here in America. So it's just like I don't know, man. I was talking to you, 10 Pound, before we went live. Like I know Trader Jane, you were talking about your mom affected by it. I mean, I had 2 deals that fell through this week. In the line of business I'm in, one of my businesses. So it's just like, they're not opening, I was going to be doing a website for a company that was opening some dispensaries, right? They're on hold. They're not doing anything.
Man, not the weed. Not the cannabis, bro.
Yeah, it's affecting everyone, man.
That's terrible, bro. Like all sectors are just on lockdown, it seems, bro, because of the lockdown.
So Trader Jane, have you talked to any of your colleagues over there at the trading floor? What are they thinking? What's next? What are you hearing? Are you hearing anything new? I mean, we saw California locked down. New York is locking down tomorrow. What are you hearing?
The lockdowns are going to continue, and more states are going to be joining the quarantine party. As far as the market, people are just in damage control right now. And it seems like a lot of the retail traders are trying to pick a bottom already. So that's kind of telling that the bottom's not in.
Well, of course not.
And I don't price into the market. I don't think recession is priced into the market yet, because there's still this hopium being floated around. Oh, it's only going to be 1 or 2 quarters of really bad GDP. Yeah, we understand there's going to be mass layoffs, and they're just pricing that in, that it's just going to be a couple quarters and a few million people laid off. But I don't think that's the case. I think this is very damaging. I think we're going into a recession. I think this is bear market.
Jane,
I think this is Great Depression kind of crap.
I gotta ask Jane, do you think that a 10,000 Dow is possible?
I don't want to scare people, but
go ahead and scare us.
A 6,000 Dow looks very possible.
I believe so
without
too.
without huge intervention, if it works, the issue is there's still uncertainty. That markets don't like the uncertainty. And it kind of just seems like uncertainty is going to keep going all the way down to like 15,000 Dow. But I don't think they're realizing that this is a bear market. Like, this is recession. That's not priced in.
Playing a silly game. It's not going to happen. The rent to demand movement, the people I'm here to represent can't afford to pay.
It is going to be priced in, then we're looking at 6,000, 10,000 in between there, Dow.
I completely agree.
You must waive the debt of the American people.
Retail investors kind of didn't do their due diligence. So, is it deserved?
So, man, it's so over levered that we're at the point where you can't plug it all. Because now, if we go to Dow 6,000, that means all of like any baby boomers, they're not going to be able to retire. They're not going to have anything to retire. Are we going to bail them out, give them a retirement plan? Like CalPERS, the pensions. What is like?
This is the worse than Bernie Madoff.
Oh yeah, this is definitely worse than Bernie Madoff, man. This is worse. So I'm hearing people talk about this. What is it called? Chloroquine or chloroquine or whatever. And I don't know if you guys know, and this is why we don't see this really being implemented in Italy right now, where it needs to be done. First, I think there's a shortage. So there's a huge shortage. The API, which is produced in India, that's a logistical nightmare. And from what I understand, this whole, I forgot what they call it, but Trump allowed for this drug to be used in a certain scenario. Well, that scenario, you have to, it's like a protocol. Like, the insurance companies don't allow you just to use these drugs because they're corrupt. So you have to like go through all these steps from your doctor before he can even use that passionate care or whatever it's called. I forgot the name of it. You can't just use it right away. You have to go through all these red lines, red tape. You know how we are here in America. You got to go through these loops and hoops to get to that point to even try the drug. But even at that point, I'm showing you guys the side effects from this drug. This is not aspirin, people. Okay, I mean, the list is just, it goes on and on and on. Anxiety, attempts at killing oneself, back, leg, or stomach pains, black tarry stools, bleeding gums, blistering, peeling or loosening of the skin, blood in the urine, blurred or decreased vision, change in near and distant vision, chest discomfort or pain, chills, cold sweats, confusion, cough, dark urine, diarrhea, difficulty in focusing, and I mean, it just goes on and on. As you guys can see, there is a list of side effects.
Medication infomercial.
Yeah,
exactly. This drug may cause you to kill yourself. Like,
yeah.
I mean, so people who are saying this. I mean, look, I'm wishing for this to work. I am, but if it was that silver bullet, we would have seen this being implemented fully in Italy. I'm hearing people overdosing on this drug since Trump tweeted about it. So you got some people in Nigeria that overdose on it. You had a person in China overdose on it. You got to know what you're doing here. It's a real drug. It's not aspirin. It's just not like, take this in a Z-Pack and you'll be good. I don't know, It's got
to be administered correctly.
It's got to be administered correctly.
Bro, I got to tell you about this one epic story, bro. So check it out. There are some doctors in Italy that were dealing with a patient that was in serious critical condition. And apparently they had a ventilator that had a broken piece on it somewhere. Like, I forgot the name of the piece, but apparently it was something really small, something minor that you could just 3D print, right? So they 3D printed it. And now the person that owns the patent to that schematic is suing them for copyright infringement. Can you believe that? Wow. Literally $11 grand just for 3D printing and saving somebody's life.
Wow. That's capitalism for you. I mean, it's again, we're at the point where we have to put. I don't know, man. Like, there's no morality here in our country anymore. It's all about the bottom line, and now we're at the point where all that stuff is being exposed.
Oh, but it's not just our country, bro. This is happening overseas, man. This is just exposing capitalism's, true nature.
Dark sides.
Yeah, bro.
Dark side. Yeah, absolutely. So, Jane, Bond, I mean, you got anything else for us? That's crazy what's going on. I hope you stay safe out there in the woods.
Yeah, I went and got a shotgun.
Oh, what?
That's good. Let me look a shot for it. That's good.
I got a 12.
You know how to shoot a gun?
Yeah, I'm originally from out west. And
Okay.
But I had to train my boyfriend on it. He's never held a gun before.
Dude.
But he's good.
Hey.
Come on, Doc. That's cool.
We're good now.
That's cool. I hope you guys stay safe out there.
Mm-hmm.
My local gun shop, one of them at least, they won't let me buy ammo unless I buy a gun. That's how crazy it is here.
Oh, damn.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
When we went into the store, all the ARs were already sold out. They were pretty low on ammo.
Yeah.
Yo, people are really preparing for shit.
What do you see? So Dow 6,000, 6,600, somewhere around there. What then? Like, is it over, or at that point, Dow 6,600, is that stage 5 or what? Level 5? What is it at that point?
Well, stage 5 was the solution of whatever comes next, and like the whole economic system is gonna have to be revamped after this. I mean, we're heading into like a currency crisis. I mean, we already were in one a few years ago when the war started, but I think it's heating up every day. Like every day, the USD goes up. That is screwing like free markets and our exports.
Yeah,
it's a huge problem. Like the administration and the Fed together have actively been working to keep the U.S. dollar suppressed, and maybe if they do all this stimulus and the Treasury is going to issue out all these bonds, then yeah, they win. They'll devalue the currency. I mean, it will help out the emerging markets and our exports, but then that's kind of the death throes of the dollar. And then what comes next?
Did you hear about the swap lines we opened up with an additional 8 countries to try to? Yeah. They're trying to get that dollar down, aren't they? With that move.
Yeah, because there's I've been talking about it for years with my colleagues and people I trade with online, and there's been a global dollar shortage because a lot of debt that these emerging markets take out, they're denominated in U.S. dollar. So to pay off these debts, they've got to raise dollars. So then it caused like a liquidity crunch. So them opening up the swap lines, that's alleviating that. Am I making sense?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well,
but I mean, if the dollar would be higher right now, way higher.
So what do you see the Dixie hitting? Like 120?
Yeah, easily.
Wow.
How long until the Federal Reserve starts buying stocks?
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that one.
Yeah, that's a good question or remark. Yeah, I see it coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
They have to. I mean,
are the people going to revolt though? Like at what point? Because I'm starting to get pissed off. Like for real.
Yeah.
Like at what point or is it that we've sedated the people, the masses so much they have no clue of what's going on? They probably don't even know.
The latter. You got to understand, we are in a very small bubble of people that talk about this. Mm-hmm. Majority of people don't even know what's going on. Like we're watching financial suicide happen with our government, and at the same time, they're going to take advantage of this situation just like they did 9/11 with the Patriot Act.
Right.
So
Right.
Never let a good crisis go to waste.
Exactly.
Like, the populace let that happen. There wasn't a revolt. What makes you think there's going to be a revolt this time? Because it's all going to be scapegoated on the coronavirus. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So how can people get angry about it when they don't even know what's going on behind the scenes? Just in front of them is the coronavirus. It's like, oh yeah, I accept this. I'll bend over and take it. Thank you, Uncle Sam, because of the coronavirus.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I think that this is one giant conspiracy. Really, and a lot of people are thinking it's one giant conspiracy because of what you just stated, Jane.
See, I don't think so. I think it's just taking advantage of the situation. In my opinion, I could be I could be wrong, definitely, but I think it's just, hey, we got to take advantage of it. We're pinned to a wall anyway. We're in the corner anyway. It only took one thing to mess this whole house of cards up, and it was this. So now you got to throw everything at the wall.
I get you completely. But I mean, what's going to come from society after this? The aftermath is going to be something straight out of the Hunger Games, yo. Like,
that's what someone said. They actually compared this situation to the Hunger Games. I don't know who I was watching. They literally said that. And
it was me. I called in.
Was that you? David Ick said it actually on London Real too.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you did as well. Yeah, it's Hunger Games. Are you gonna die for your district?
For Columbia? I mean, I don't know, bro. They tried to put me down once.
Oh, I wonder what district I would be in. I don't know. The influencers district?
Oh man.
Are you guys believing and reports coming out of China right now that there's like more new cases and everyone's happy and going back to work?
That's ridiculous.
Bullshit. Absolute
I can't believe
lie.
we even repeat that stuff, that propaganda. And come on now, 0 cases, and then the 34 that they had, they blamed on citizens coming from other countries.
Italy, literally.
Come on, like,
they
y'all
ran a
can do
campaign.
a better job than that, bro. Like, that's horrible.
Yo, they're running a campaign, my dude. They're running a campaign. I kid you not, yo. They got cyber warriors around the clock.
Man, that's some
putting out propaganda.
Vince McMahon stuff right there. That's fugazi, but I don't know, man. Stay safe out there, Trader Jane. I'm gonna get to the next caller here. Thanks for calling in.
All right, talk to you later. Bye.
Peace. It's your boy Crypto Blood. Who's calling in tonight?
What it do?
What's going on?
You already know it's the Old Show. What's poppin', my dude?
What's going on? You all right?
Yo.
What you got?
So check this out. You know people right now is turning up in Miami Beach, right?
They're doing what?
They're turning up right now in Miami Beach.
Of course they're turning up. It's Miami Music Week. Of course they're turning up, bro.
I was gonna say, aren't you down in Miami Tempo?
Nah, I'm not.
No. I'm in Argentina, but I'm following everything, and literally they're turning up right now in Miami and in like Baltimore and everything like that. Baltimore, they don't play that curfew. Like for me, I've been following the situation and I don't fully understand it. And I want to ask you specifically, Crypto Blood, with crypto, obviously that we've been going up in price. Do you think this is a false rally, or do you think that we're
false rally? Dead cat bounce, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah,
I'm telling you why. Because the reason it crashed is still here. The fundamental reason why it crashed, which is flight to safety. Everybody's scared as hell. They're locked down. They need cash. Some of these professional investors, institutional investors, are selling Bitcoin to cover margin calls in the stock market. All that stuff is going to continue. If Trader Jane is right and we go to 6,600, I think we're going to still see Bitcoin fall lower.
What? You don't see capital flight from people buying Bitcoin maybe with their government stipends or whatever? Not at all?
No, we got to eat. This is for toiletries and
Mm-hmm.
food. You see what I'm saying? This is not.
Hey, yo,
ain't nobody
but-
buying. We gonna be selling Bitcoin. If you don't have a job, bro, for a month or two,
Mhm.
you're forced to liquidate your Bitcoin.
I mean, but still, people are going to be trading these swings, man, down trading these swings. And eventually the market's going to have to recover, bro. Like, people might actually take this money and then put it into the market, peer-to-peer trade it, probably flip it up, maybe flip it down, bro. Like, this market doesn't rest. You know what I'm saying? So,
Nah, man, I don't think so,
you know?
bro. I think Bitcoin is definitely going to outperform on the way back up.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
when
no
it's
doubt.
all said and done, yes.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
I'm there with
So
you
then
on that.
what is the bottom then? What is the bottom?
I'm saying 3,200 within the next 7 days. In the next 7 days, we might
7 days?
Yeah, Yep, we might dip to 3.2K within
Hey,
7 days.
I gotta hear what you gonna say.
Nah, man, I don't know what the hell he talking about.
You really?
7 days.
Yeah, 7 days, man. I'm thinking
This
7
ain't
days.
no 7-day theory, Illuminati,
Bro,
Machiavelli. What are you talking about?
Bro, I'm saying what it is, bro, on my mind, dude. Like, within like a week, bro, we're gonna see another massive dip, another 50% dip,
I agree.
possibly within a week.
Okay, but 50. Okay, so 50 is to take us to near 3,000. Okay, yeah. So
Uh-huh.
the bounce did give us some room. It gave us some lifeline. So move back down will be 50%. Yeah, okay, I can see that. We got to stay above 3,000. That's all I gotta say. That's all I got. We got to
But
stay
a week time frame?
No, I don't think. I personally don't think that early. I think it may stretch out a little bit further. But again, it's all predicated on what happens next week in the stock market. Oh my God, bro.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bloodbath. It's gonna be, people are actually gonna let it settle in, bro. That this is pretty much financial Armageddon. Like, at that point, bro, next week. Like, right now, bro, the Dow is under 20K. Like, right now, dude, the Nasdaq is under 7K. Like, people are gonna let it set in, bro. That this is it.
Yeah, once we get to like 17,000 Dow, and we get further and further away from 20K, the panic is gonna. Oh my God, bro.
Yeah, it's gonna be ridiculous. It's gonna be reckless.
6,000 though. My judgment on it. I said this a while back for those who follow me. I said 15,000, 15 to 16,000 Dow. That's where I thought we would settle. But yeah, man. I mean, it could just continue to spiral out of control. It could.
So I have a question.
What's going on down in Argentina, man?
Argentina? Well, first and foremost, if you know anything about Latin American culture, everybody likes to dance, talk, and be social.
Yeah.
So it's really tough on the people down here because a lot of them are actually following it because.
Oh, so you guys are on lockdown as well?
Yeah, this is an international thing. Like, this is all of Latin America.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know this. Okay.
Yeah,
Fill us in.
Yeah, basically from here to Colombia, everyone's on lockdown, and culturally, the people are the type of people who usually go out, but they're actually taking this very serious. And in certain parts, you can't play around with it. So, actually, the fact that they're seeing people in Miami partying, people are like, "Yo, these crazy Americans, what are they doing?" So, I don't know how serious the situation is. I'm just basing it off what everyone's saying and what everyone's doing. And obviously, when you see money, go ahead.
Are you quarantined? Are you quarantining yourself?
Yeah. I'm set.
Good.
So
good. Yeah. I mean, it's serious here, man. I mean, I went out. Was it yesterday? Maybe midday, right? Had to give me some cigars. Had to load up for a few days, and went to the cigar joint, and they got a sign on the wall like no lounge. It's buy and go. That's all you can do. Come in, buy, and leave. And the streets look like Christmas.
We got
man.
the same.
It looked like
we
Christmas.
got the same here.
And it was It was Friday. It was Friday. It looked like Christmas, bro. Like nobody on the streets.
We're on a 19-day quarantine. So basically, the only thing you can do is go to the store to buy your food and stuff like that. But if they catch you walking around outside, Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they'll do, but specifically, we don't play with no risks over here like that.
Yeah,
No,
you
I
probably
feel
gonna
Yeah.
catch. You gonna get the smoke at that point, bro. You're gonna catch the smoke. Like,
Yeah, I hear Argentina don't play. So,
Uh-huh.
I'm Sakin says, wait until the housing market starts to fall. That is another pillar, another house of cards, man. I saw an interview from a Los Angeles high end real estate agent, and he's like, it's gone to zero. Nobody's buying anything. And we're independent contractors, so I'm this and this and that. He's just worried, man. I'm like, wow, it affects every sector.
So I want to, I'm not trying to do any fear mongering, but I just want perspective because, with me, I listen to everybody's side of the story. I'm one of those moderate, open-minded individuals. So this is a message that was sent to me by an individual. Basically, he took $100K, turned it into $1 million in crypto. Smart kid. And he said basically, the U.S. is behind the virus. China and Russia know this. Once the whole world knows, China will stop trade with the U.S. Retail stores will stop selling made in China goods, and then it's a butterfly effect. The U.S. economy collapses, so does the dollar, and BTC goes to the moon.
Oh, man, that's such a conspiracy theory, man.
If it was only that simple.
And we're going to have a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, if it was only that simple, bro. I don't know, man.
But what do you think about this entire situation being an opportunity for the entire government or new world order structure to be able to input a new currency and a new system altogether?
Oh yeah,
because right now this is taking place in every part of the world. Every part of the world is feeling the impact of this virus, and
by force. Their hand is being pulled to do that, though. It's not like this. In my opinion, I don't think it was like some overarching plan. I think they're going to have to start a new dollar, a new currency to get themselves out of this debt. It's almost like a debt jubilee, a reset. It's going to be a new currency.
Well, here's the thing,
but how would they do the distribution? What would be the distribution mechanism behind that new?
It's going to be digital. It's going to be entirely digital. And here's the thing: the IMF already has a basket of securities. Yeah, of course, SDR. I was about to bring that up. Exactly called by its name. And when it comes down to it, that's what's going to be issued internationally, but not physically, digitally. And people are actually going to take it and run. Like it's every other central bank currency is going to be devalued, and like literally, it's all a race to the bottom right now. Not to mention,
would it be like a computer chip? Like you take that chip and like specifically you have access to new currency. How would it look? Because I'm trying to understand the distribution mechanism to actually distribute an entire currency across the globe that everyone's using. Because it seems very far-fetched and very difficult when you have sovereign governments that some don't even like each other.
You're right.
Let me just say this really quickly, because there are some people that feel like there's going to be this one world currency that cannot exist from an economic standpoint. You can't have one currency because then you don't have a trade. You don't have a check. You know what I'm saying? You can't have one currency because everything is in. How do you price it? You got to have another currency to price a currency against, if that makes sense.
In order to keep
balance. But wouldn't it come in the form of like a reserve currency?
But that's not like, it could be a reserve currency that we use to back some of our own currencies, but you won't have like the whole world using one currency and that's it. No, economically it just doesn't work that way.
And it goes against the human mentality and
you have to have trade. You have to have a trade, right? A value. So if it's only one currency, then you don't have anything else to value it against. If that makes sense.
Hey, I want to touch on a point that he made about how he's saying that the virus came from the United States. I think that's almost improbable. Maybe somebody in the deep state was involved in the manufacturing of a laboratory that just happened to be in Canada, and then
for arbitrage, right? So
yeah, exactly, for arbitrage, of course. And then, of course, they had some people in China operating and quite possibly smuggling this information and these particles, these chemicals back over to mainland China. That's probably what happened. But this is a scapegoat. This has to be a scapegoat plot. There is no way in hell that the United States literally unleashed this bioweapon.
No, because it doesn't help. This is what I'm trying to. This is what me and my wife were talking about. Like, how would you think that this was done on purpose? Because it doesn't benefit anyone. Like, everybody's scrambling, bro. This is not something that's benefiting anybody. Tell me one country that benefits from this.
Nobody, dude. No, it doesn't matter where you are. This virus doesn't give a damn about nationality.
It doesn't.
That's true. That's true. Yet, if you're financially positioned in the economy, and you have a stockpile of cash, this is only going to benefit you.
Nah.
Yeah. I mean, in the long run, sure, a reset will benefit the people possibly at the top, but there was nothing wrong with the system right now. They're doing just fine in the system right now. They're extracting rents. Yeah, they're extracting wealth.
But think about how much money is lost within the current system right now. Like even a place like India, more than I would say, probably like half the money flow in India is cash, is black market. Jane Bond said it. Mexico, cash economy, black market. Yeah. So specifically, you do need something in play to actually collect that financial energy that's not within the system. Yeah. So this does seem like a perfect situation, and whether it's manufactured or it's an accident, it's still going to benefit people who know how to play the market and play the game right.
Yeah, I feel you. Jimmy Jinx said, with all this knowledge, I should be ahead of the Fed. Man, they ain't gonna let no black man be in no Fed.
No way.
You crazy, man. Well, thanks for the call. I got another caller. Flo.
One more thing.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, man.
One more thing. Okay. Go ahead. All right, so these are projections that my kid gave me. Okay. I think we're going to 5,200 now, then around 7,500, then 18K, then to 100K. What you think of with those type of numbers?
Go ahead, 10 pound first. Oh no, I think you're talking about Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, Bitcoin.
It's a possibility, man. I'm not an oracle, bro. I'm not like a
it's
psychic
very
or
hard
anything.
to it's very hard to predict these types of things. So many moving parts in this complex system. It's just very hard to, man. I mean, I'll throw numbers out there, but it's just too hard to know.
Absolutely.
At any point, an unknown factor could come into this equation and change everything for the good or bad. So I don't know, man.
And you would agree that institutions like Grayscale actually buy in at these levels?
Probably, but probably not. We'll see. They could be liquidating assets.
They're liquidating right now, man. It's an all-out, man. I don't think you understand. Wall Street is done. Like, they just had a firm go under Friday morning, a prime broker. So that's just the first one. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's like the first roach. There's 1,000 other ones. Like, it's
dude. That's gonna
look out for that
ripple effect through the entire financial sector, bro. Like,
exactly. Well, thanks for the call, man. I really appreciate it. Stay safe out there in Argentina. Oh, Flo, and definitely. I did follow you, bro. I followed you.
Yeah, bro. Thanks for the follow, bro. That's love. You already know I'm following you too. Love, appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir. All right, caller on the line. Your boy Crypto Blood and 10 pound tonight. Who's calling in?
Hey, what's up, man? This is LJ.
LJ,
what up?
West Coast. How
you
doing out there, man? How's it going out there? Is it kind of tough?
Oh man, well, I mean, I won't say it's tough, but people are reacting to what they believe to be the news, the perception. In the end, I think the biggest damage is going to be done by a reaction.
Yeah.
Than the actual problem itself. But I mean, I'm chilling, man. I'm enjoying the no traffic. I don't do lockdowns. You know what I'm saying? I did enough forced lockdown, so I don't do lockdown.
I feel you. I feel you on that one.
See, I lived in a world when they said lock it down, that's what you did. And then you brought your food for as long as your food, your packages, and whatever else for as long as they felt. You know what I'm saying? They chose to.
How
So
many years did you do?
Man, I did 13 straight this last joke, but I've been in. You know, I've done some time since I was a juvenile, man. You know, I was one of those youth that they decided to breed in those juvenile prisons that they don't talk about. Right. You know, which then they turn around and lease those youth back out, you know, into the society, and they don't realize is that, you know, individuals like that, they'll grab a hold of the mindsets of more people than you can save.
Okay, so I got a question for you, because you're educated, man. Maybe not traditionally, but in knowledge, right? What's your thought on what's going on? What's your angle on everything?
Well,
with this whole virus.
This is what I said. There's a whole bunch of possibilities.
Yes.
Well, a few. You know, we can go with the fact that we know pandemics and diseases and these other type of things, they do exist throughout human history. So the possibility of it just being a natural occurrence is there. Now, does that not mean that there aren't people always for the last 400 or 500 years waiting in the wings to further their agendas?
Absolutely.
See, this is what people don't get. This is what people don't get. You ain't got people that have been in power for 500 years by coincidence. You know what I'm saying? They make moves and they write it. What's so cool is they write it in books and then they teach it to their children. You know, see, and they toe that line. And when they teach it to their children, see, they teach lineage. They teach reproduction, because you can't live in Buckingham Palace or these other places for 300, 400, 500 years without respecting lineage, without teaching reproduction. It just don't work. See, you know, and then it's funny how, you know, we tend to look up to these type of people, and we never stop to say, well, wait a minute, how is this happening, you know, for these generations after generations? And then the message we get from our TVs and radios is that reproduction is not important. You know,
I agree with you, and I told this to my wife. I said, so you're telling me the Bilderbergs and the Illuminati and stuff created the Black Plague back in the Spanish flu back in 1819, huh? They had CRISPR and DNA. No, they didn't. It didn't exist.
Look. This is I don't. You know, I think they're opportunists. They understand that this is because they understand that's the only way they stay in their position. It's taking advantage of opportunities. When you get enough money to where you've already bought enough Rolls Royces, you've bought enough houses, what else do you buy but corporations, entities, institutions? And then what do you buy once you have that? You begin to, because I own the company doesn't mean I necessarily can completely run the company until I stack the company with people that I know will do my bidding. So it's all just been phases. It's been phases. They've been laying out these phases with the indeterminate time frame, saying that, okay, yeah, we can get it done in 100 years, cool, but if it takes 150, 200 years, cool too. But this is still the plan. This is still the marching orders, you know, and because we have enough money and influence, and every day we're stacking on that influence and that money, anytime an opportunity comes that we may have thought of or we didn't think of, we have the ability to take advantage of it.
What are you going to do with our interest? What are you going to do with your 1,000, your stack, your rack? What you going to do with your rack?
I'm looking, depending on where the smoke clears. You know, at some point in time, the smoke's going to clear, and we'll go back to some semblance of a society. It's not going to, you know, things have changed. You know, especially as Americans, things have changed. It's not going to. It's not. No. You got to realize one thing they say about humans is that we're resilient folk. So we're not going anywhere. That's the big fallacy. You know what I'm saying? That's another, you know, that they play that, you know what I'm saying? We're resilient folk. You know what I'm saying? We're the rulers of this planet. That don't mean that we change physics, but we have the ability to work within physics
got a
manipulate and get
question
what
for
we
you.
want.
I got a question before I head on to the other two callers. But Cryptonomics makes a good point here. He said black folks is in mad trouble. He said niggas still running around talking about it's a hoax.
We are. Let me tell you why.
No,
let me tell you why we're in trouble.
I'm seeing this
prominently.
You got
it.
Yeah.
You got it. Yeah, you got folks. And this is once again, that's why I made that statement saying that, look, we know that these things do exist in human history. So therefore you can't count it out because they do exist. Now, whether they were manipulated or whether people took advantage of the situation, then yeah, we can say that. But as far as that, we're behind. But it's going to be bigger than that. Not with the pandemic, because humans are going to survive this pandemic. This is nothing, man. This is nothing in comparison to what humans have had to deal with over the millennium. But
can I please make
the problem is going to come in is economics. It's going to come in economics because everything, this reset is going to set a whole lot of stuff. Just these few months is going to set a whole lot of stuff back, and we're not prepped for it. We're not prepped for it in our knowledge base, in our modern knowledge base. Yeah. Or in our primitive knowledge base. You know what I'm saying? We don't, and so right now, that's what it's going to depend on. It's going to depend on whether you have a modern knowledge base, or whether you can revert back to a primitive knowledge base, meaning those old skills that we've lost. Farming.
Man, I was like, yo, can I just please elaborate on that bullshit about how people think that this is a hoax, my guy? Like, I can't, yo. Those are the same people that go to church every single Sunday.
Exactly.
Bro,
and you want to call something a hoax?
Well, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. I know some street cats that don't go to church, and they believe that. They believe it's just all government manipulation, and they don't know how to separate that government or the powers that be can put their 2 cents in things that already exist. Or they can often manipulate things into existing.
And whether or not it's by them or whatever, the situation
we still got to deal with it.
We still have to deal with it.
We still got to deal with it.
Be prepared, not scared. That's what I say. All right, LJ,
man. And we're not prepared as black folks. We're in trouble when the smoke clears, man.
Yeah, I agree.
We're gonna be in trouble.
Well, we'll see. I mean, like, who knows? Like, apparently these ACE2 receptors aren't gonna be binding to us the same way, man. It's gonna be hitting different. So we'll see, man.
I hear that. But I did see a lady in Chicago who was black and she was in ICU.
Oh, damn.
She made it, but
Well, that may come from. So you gotta realize. I believe that we probably in our most natural state are the most resilient from it. But you got to realize we're not in our most natural state. We eat garbage.
Yeah.
We eat garbage. You got to understand this. If we go back as far as black Americans, when they snatched us, they didn't snatch the weak. They snatched the best of the herd. When you going out and you looking for stock, you don't get weak stock. Now, every now and then the weak stock may get caught up in the net, and either you throw it away or you keep it. But for the most part, you're going to have good stock. So good stock landed here. So now we look and say, damn, look at how black folks are in the South. And then we actually think that that's them genetically.
LJ,
that's their family. They big boned it.
I got to straight up tell you, man, look into the Moors, bro. Like, there were black people before there were slaves. Okay, good.
I already know. Yeah, I know. No, that you talking about FBA. You talking about FBA. We got to realize California was named after a black queen called Khalifa. There's already proof. There's already proof that we were here, and then they brought some of us here. You know what I'm saying? So it goes both. It goes both. Listen. We were in every single culture on the face of this planet.
Yeah,
but see, everybody wants to deny it now.
I agree with you there. I agree. That's a whole nother subject we definitely will have to get into, for sure, man. So stay safe out there in Cali, and give me an update, man.
Keep your immune system up, man. That's the main thing, man. Keep your immune system up, man. And nature, once again, nature has given us the reign of this planet.
Yeah.
No doubt.
And so there will be some of us who will remain. The remnant. There's always going to be a remnant.
Yes.
You know what I'm
yes,
saying?
Indeed.
You
All
know?
right, man. Well, LJ, thank you again for the call in.
Man, no.
Give me an update in a week or so.
That's right, man. You have a good one too, man. Y'all have a good one. Have a blessed one, man. All right.
Too. All right, let's get the next caller here. We got 2 more here. 10 pound. Call on the line. It's your boy Crypto Blood and 10 pound tonight.
What up?
Who's calling in? Hello.
I think they just muted and unmuted me again, man.
Oh, okay. 1 second. Let me try this again here. Who's calling in?
This is E-Blood.
Who is this? Is this L?
Yeah.
Hey, L, what's going on? This is my daughter, everyone.
Wow, nice.
This is my daughter calling in. What's going on?
It's stupid how I don't go to school. I want to go to school.
I know. I want you to go to school too. Listen, believe me, you're driving me crazy every day.
I'm your biggest fan.
Oh, thank you.
Dang.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, bye. That was great.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get the next caller in. Who's on the line? It's your boy Crypto Blood. 10 pound.
Hey, Crypto. Hey, man, it's John B.
John B, what's going on, brother? Thanks for calling in.
Hey, I just wanted to bring up 2 quick points. You know, people have talked about the Simpsons predicted, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
I'm sure y'all have seen that clip where it's Lisa in the White House and it says, "We've inherited the biggest debt after President Trump."
Uh-huh. Yep, I saw that.
Bro, what the hell? How is he doing this stuff, bro?
Yeah. I was just looking right before I called in just to make sure you could find the clip. But if you go to Google and type in Simpsons Lisa president, you scroll down in the video section, it says Trump presidency predicted by the Simpsons. And then like the second clip, you roll over it and you can see that that's where they're talking about. It's the first clip. You can see it looks like the Dow. It's crazy.
Uh-huh.
Man,
yeah.
What the hell? What kind of what are they? I don't understand, man. They keep hitting them with the predictions.
Yo, bro, for real, they do. Not only that, I saw this episode way before Trump was even inaugurated. It's mind blowing.
Yeah, it's crazy. And another thing I wanted to bring up, which is I think a really good point, Gregory Manarino's Twitter feed. He quoted somebody that said, we just dealt with getting rid of the Trump bubble, right? What about the Obama bubble? Because when the Fed steps in at 6,500, was the real bottom at 6,499?
Yeah.
Or was it 3,002?
Oof.
So, if we're really going to cleanse this system, we got to go all the way down.
Yeah, but that's one thing I have to say about Trump, bro. Like, remember what really sold me on Trump was his different approach and his message as far as draining the swamp, right? Of course, but he was talking about how the numbers were fake, the unemployment numbers were fake, and all this money printing. And then he gets in office and he flips it, with the exception of draining the swamp. He did his attempts with that, but he wanted to run this checkup, man, and it's just like he's adding to the issue, and now kind of forced his hand. Now it's all kind of crumbling, but. He was for creating this continuation of debt and low interest rates and bullying the feds into printing and all that stuff, man. That was kind of a 180 for me when it came to Trump. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, now he's talking about no share buybacks.
Yeah.
So you want, the
true.
most profitable. It's kind of like you can't admit it.
Right.
He can't, like he said, well, we didn't think we had to add that into the tax cuts that we were doing. It's like, come on, man, you're in business. You know what these companies are doing.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of waiting for the day.
Let me ask you about that, the Boeing situation. I'm pissed off about that, bro. Mm-hmm. They're whining, saying they need a bailout, but yet how many hundreds of billions did they use over the last 10 years to buy back their shares? And their board of directors made millions off of, and their CEO made millions off of, and now they want to bail out from us.
bro. Not only that, they're a military industrial complex contractor. Like, they're in the treasury, bro.
So, yeah, so they're gonna get it, right?
Yeah, they're gonna get it.
And it's just they're going to get it not only because they're quote unquote too big to fail, and just like he said, they're a military contractor. Right? How many secrets do they have? You can't let that fall into some VC hand, right, in California.
Right.
But you bail out the banks and you bail out these big institutions because quote unquote you are protecting the people by doing that. If Boeing goes under, and I mean completely goes under, and I mean people want the assets and intellectual property and things like that, then they're not going to hire anybody else. You can't do that. And all the supply chains, I mean the veins of that company go out all over the world.
But at what point
you have to?
Yeah, you have to. I agree. I totally agree. But at what point do you say enough is enough? At what point they're talking about banning them from doing stock buybacks for 3 years, or I've heard 3 years or until they pay back the debt. What solution do you feel is fair in that from that perspective? Like, I think they need to ban them from stock buybacks indefinitely, forever.
I don't think that'll happen because once again, everybody's friends, right?
Yep.
Trump's not going to let those CEOs go out on a whimper, and then again, now you're looking at a brain drain within the company, right? Now they're going to have to compete for talent with less money.
So I mean,
what are you going to do with that?
We've completely gone away from capitalism, though. Like it's straight up socialist society now.
Yeah,
man.
Agree. So when does the next Bretton Woods happen?
Right, there you go.
Ouch.
That's my next question.
That's a reality check right there.
Yeah, if the Dixie goes to 120 or whatever, and watching it go over 100, I was like, holy crap, like the milkshake theory, right? It's going to go up and up and up.
Yes, my man. Yeah, he's right so far, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. So at what point does it collapse under its own weight, and does it collapse through market forces, or does it collapse through the G20 or the G7? One way or another, it's going to happen.
So, what do you think about China literally nationalizing 3M, which is an American company? They're literally taking all their assets.
I hadn't heard about that. How can they do that?
Well, I don't know, but they did it. And now they are literally manufacturing products for domestic use and ceasing all shipments back to the United States.
What's going on now? I didn't hear what you said.
3M is the mask maker.
Yes.
Really? Yeah, industrial products.
Yeah.
They have been nationalized by the Chinese CCP regime.
When was this?
I believe, during this crisis.
Really?
Started this year. Yeah.
I thought they.
Probably last month.
I thought they were printing. They were making masks for us. No. Right now.
Actually, there's a lot of turmoil going on around masks. Taiwan is actually donating 100,000 masks every single week. Yes, and China is really pissed off about that.
They are. I heard about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So they're weaponizing their supply chains.
Yikes.
At this moment. Yep.
Anything else from on the ground, John B, out there in Texas?
No, man. Like I told you, we got coronavirus cases that popped up in the news where I work, and now they're coming in and cleaning our building with some military. For y'all that don't know, I work in shipping and whatnot, and you get what's called a material safety data sheet. And it's like, holy crap, what they're fixing to clean our building with. And
they're coming through there with Agent Orange on you.
Yeah, man. I told my boss.
They're coming through there with Agent Orange.
Bro.
Yeah, I'm not going in that building, man. We're trying to have kids. You know what I mean? I'm not having that blinky-eyed fish from The Simpsons either,
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So,
well, thanks for the call in. Be safe out there.
Yo, I think that when he mentions The Simpsons, man, that ties right back into manufactured consent. Literally, the media literally predicting, events that are going to be to come.
I just think we live. It's just to me is more evidence that we live in a goddamn simulation, man. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense how accurate the Simpsons can continually be. I don't know. Call on the line. It's your boy Crypto Blood. Got 10 pound on tonight. Who's calling in?
What up?
Caller, you there?
I hear some noise.
I do too. Going twice. Sold. All right, calling in line. It's your boy Crypto Blood and 10 Pound tonight. Off the Chain, episode 31. Who's calling in? Caller, you there? I guess they're not talking either. All right, let's go down the line one more. Call on the line. It's your boy Crypto Blood and 10 Pound tonight. Who's calling in?
Flow back in this thing. You already know.
What's going on,
The word that you're looking for is predictive programming. That's what it's called, and that's what they used to explain the Simpsons episodes, predicting everything that's going on.
But it's also manufactured consent to make sure that the people can understand what's going on too, and actually just accept it at the same time. Like, let's be real here. Like, there was voluntarism for people to want to vote for Trump. Like, sure, the deep state actually hated the guy, yo. The Republican Party hated the guy.
The deep state hated that guy, man.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, people. Like they tried everything. And okay, if you want me to put my tinfoil hat on, this is the only conspiracy theory that I have that I thought about that may have some validity, in my opinion. Maybe this was done by some deep state Clinton type of operation, where it's timed perfectly for going into the next election, right? To throw Trump off. It's obvious that Trump is thrown. He's so disheveled, man. He's so confused right now, So it definitely wasn't him. He didn't do this, but maybe the Clintons, put something together and had something leak out there in China in the Wuhan level 4 lab. I mean, it would be perfect scenario. Try to get him out.
Man, if you're gonna start naming names, bro, I think it's no way would the Clintons do that, bro. They're too busy laying low from Epstein, my dude.
But listen, they're laying. You just said it. They are laying low. Where are they? Why haven't you seen any? You ain't heard from Clintons.
I heard from Hillary Clinton, dude. She was on TV talking about how Bernie Sanders isn't appropriate for office. I heard that.
When was this?
That was actually recent. She was on national TV talking to a pundit.
Did she say anything about the coronavirus?
Oh, hell no.
Okay, why?
But
come on now. It's a national. This is the worst thing we've gone through. Why not say anything about the coronavirus? Let me try to get this other caller. Oh, Flo, give me a second. I think we got Cryptonomics on the line. What's going on, bro?
Yo, what's up, bro?
What's the word?
Hey, you hear me, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, I was muted earlier, but
no doubt.
Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah, no doubt, man. I'm good. How are you tonight?
Yeah, I was just wanting to throw in a few nuggets, man. It's like, because, I posted earlier about people talking about it's a hoax, mostly black folks. I don't know what's up with that, man. I think people are, honestly, I think they so scared they don't even want to tap into reality, man. And I just want to share this piece of it.
We're all scared.
Go ahead.
I don't think that could be the reason, because we're all scared. Black, white, Asian, persuasion, whatever. We're all scared.
Well, let me say panic then. It's like, I'm not panicked. I'm not scared, but it's like I'm concerned. But I was already prepared. Yeah, I was already prepared anyway for a lot of this. So I'm not at that level that they're at. You feel me?
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of people out there, they ain't have $1,000 in their bank account. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the piece that I wanted to share, though, is, to kind of knock out some of these conspiracy theorist people thinking like, oh, it's a hoax, it's this, and this. All right. And then they're trying to go back and say this is the flu. And, there's more people die from the flu than from coronavirus, blah, blah, blah. But peep game, though, right? The line of work that I work in, I'm a direct workforce manager for a medical company. So, and I'm on the front line in terms of I actually see the people who want to take off work, paid time, bereavement, shit like that. And I'm the one that approve it. So, back in January, dog, man, I was seeing all kind of people talking about, I got to take time off for a death, this, that, and the other. And I started connecting the dots. I was like, man, something's up here, mid-January. And
now the flu does kill a lot of people.
It does, but
kill a
let
lot
me
of
get
people.
to this. Let me get to this point though. Is since it's a medical company, I get all the emails coming through, regardless if they apply to me or not. But back in January, back in February, there wasn't even a medical code, bro. And that's what these workers do, is they're in the medical coding, billing for the government, CMS.
Yeah.
And there wasn't even a medical code out, bro, for COVID-19. So how in the world would the doctors even be able to say the cause of death, COVID-19, it's this code and bill for it and all of that? They didn't even have it. Just last week, they started sending that out on urgent. I mean, all over the place. I was like, dang, so you don't even have good numbers.
You're right.
In terms of who had it, who died from it, all of that stuff. You just got that in since last week.
Right.
So, I mean, for those type of people talking about the influenza, that's all they had. That's all they could connect it to if people was dying,
I get you.
And stuff like that.
Bro, I completely get what you mean. And I think it's because people have become conditioned to thinking that just because this is a virus that happens, on a yearly basis, that people have to have, mutated strains injected into them and get a shot every single year. That's the only thing they really could compare it to. But this is something completely unique. And also, I've heard conspiracy theories about people saying that this is a 5G weapon deployment, not even a virus.
I've heard that too.
God, I've heard that too, man.
Yeah. And so, I mean, that's just that part of it I wanted to share. As far as the economics go, I think y'all right on the money, man. Like, even listening to y'all, hell, that got my ass scared. I'm sitting over here preparing the shit, and I'm like, damn, they got some points right here that, ain't even been brought up nowhere about the Dow, about, what was that brokerage you said went under, man?
Ronin. So I got the shout out to Brit VR. He wanted me to talk about that, and I just had the article up. I don't know what the hell I did with it. Give me a second. I thought I had it. I may have closed it. Oh, here it is. So check this out on the screen, guys. I'll drop this link in the chat room as well. But Ronin Capital went under Friday morning, unable to meet capital requirements at the CME, sources say. So it says yet another sign the turmoil in financial markets is putting extreme stress on some firms. One of the CME Group direct clearing firms was unable to meet its capital requirements. According to sources, the move forced the exchange to step in and invoke its emergency protocols to auction off the portfolio of Ronin Capital, based in Chicago. Was confirmed to be the firm in question, according to sources. So Terry Duffy, the CME Group's chairman, told CNBC the auction process was completed Friday morning, but said the group doesn't disclose who assumed the portfolios in the auction. So they won't tell you where the assets were siphoned off to, who bought them. We probably know Jamie Dimon was all up in that one.
Of course.
You know.
Yo, JP Morgan already got a bailout, right?
This year?
Yep.
Yeah,
Recently,
I'm
one.
not surprised. I'm not surprised from the repo markets. I'm hearing that JP Morgan was having some issues in the repo markets for sure back in actually last year, end of last year. So it's just starting, man. Cryptonomics is just starting. These are the little telltale signs that most people on Main Street don't know anything about, but it's starting to happen, man. It's starting to happen.
Keep your eyes on Deutsche Bank too, man. It started making a rally like a couple months ago. I made some coins on it, but man, it just tanked. It's like at $5 a share right now.
It's crazy. Go even lower. In fact, they're holding so much bad debt.
Yeah.
They're holding so much bad debt. It's insane. Trillions and trillions of dollars worth of bad debt. Like, it's really just a shell company at this point. And they're laying off employees internationally. Like, this isn't just, a German bank. This is actually sends a rippling effect, a tidal wave across the entire financial system once they do go belly up. So, insane.
Exactly. Well, hey, man, I appreciate it, dude. And, hey, everybody just, hey, keep your head up. Get your stuff right. I mean, because, yeah, this definitely is looking crazy, man.
What the black folks say? Get your house in order.
Yeah.
Get your house in order all the way. You know what I'm saying? Should have already been in order. You know, you feel me? Should have already been there, man. How long we been talking about this stuff, man?
For a while, man.
Long time. So, all right, then. I'm going to holler at y'all. Tell you on next time. Peace out.
All right, man. Thank you.
Take it easy.
Yeah, man. So, any last thoughts, bro?
Let's touch base on what the ex-CEO of Bakkt did. This lovely woman.
Yes, the Bakkt.
Man.
Oh my God! I don't know if any of you heard of. I'm sure you have. Kelly Loeffler, the one that left the Bakkt, the crypto community, turned her back on us. No pun intended.
Yep.
Turned her back on us and went over to Washington to the Hill, and look what. Lo and behold, she's over there insider trading. What are your thoughts, man? I mean, this is not good for a freshman senator
at all. I think that she's a capitalist more than she is a lawmaker, my dude.
Exactly.
You can't. Like, that's the thing, bro. When Trump got in office, it completely blurred the line between business and government.
True.
And she is just a symptom of the problem right now, my guy. And I don't blame her for making the business moves that she did. She was looking out for herself. She was looking out for her lineage. And not only that, she was hustling. Like, yo, you gotta respect her, bro. Like, she literally almost got a futures contract passed through, bro, my dude, for BTC. Like, she was hustling, man. Like, she knows what she's been there doing. Like, this isn't an accident.
So this article doesn't go into detail. I read another article, but she essentially came out with about 3.5 million. Hooli Savage, thank you for the super chat there.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, what happened to that? Man, I've been so busy with the daughter. I'm going to get them back up and going, though. I'm going to get the Forex episodes back up and going. I haven't even been doing daily videos like that. So I'm going to get everything back on track here soon, hopefully. But, yeah, man, she came out with like 3.5 million she saved or something like that because she got out the market before the tank. Her and three other senators. Democrat, Republican, I think another Republican, and I don't know what the other one was.
No,
but
this is unconstitutional. She did break the federal law, but I don't think there's going to be any form of repercussions at all.
See what I'm saying, man? This has to stop, bro. Anyone in the chat room, let me know. I thought that maybe it's Congress can do insider trading. I don't know.
No, nobody on the floor, bro. No lawmakers, my dude.
I don't know where I heard that from.
These people might actually step down, but they're not going to face federal time. There's no way in hell.
So you think any of the four are going to be in trouble from this situation?
They'll probably step down because the people that voted them into power are going to be pissed the fuck off. But nah, they're not going to see any federal jail time. They're going to get sentenced. It won't be a court martial, nothing. Not at all. Not in these times, my dude. Nope.
And so that's the problem. It's just the same old thing over and over again. They're not scared. Like, we got to do, like, I think it was Greenland or Iceland when the 2008 crisis happened and all the mortgage-backed security frauds and stuff. They actually threw people in jail. I don't know if you recall that, but
I do.
We unfortunately can't throw anybody in jail this go around because the virus kind of caused it was a trigger effect.
Bro,
but
what is going to happen to all these people in jail, my guy, that have the virus, that have coronavirus? That's what I want to know. We are the largest prison state in the world, bro.
We are, and you gotta believe it's already in there. You gotta believe it's already in there. So what do we do? I don't know. Wow, I didn't even think about that. Even think about that. Let us know in the chat room. Let's see if Oflo want to chime in on that. I know he's in Argentina. Oflo.
Yeah. It's the same thing out here. It's a conversation out here about basically people in jails basically catching it and everything. And you got to imagine that Latin American jails are worse than anything that you could imagine. Like,
right.
just perspective. At one point I lived in Venezuela,
Ooh.
and I met a guy, and he told me his experience of going to jail in Venezuela. And he told me this. He's like, "Yo, if I want to get grenades, any type of weapon, you know where I go? I go to jail." That's just to give you the perspective. Yeah, it's like that.
I thought we were doing something. We had phones in jail. You told me cats in there with grenades.
Yeah, you can get whatever in there. And imagine there's no safety in there. Like everything goes on like that in the jails.
Wow.
You want your drugs, whatever. It's not pretty. So just some perspective on it overall.
So how do you think that's gonna pan out for the United States, man? I mean, we got a lot. We, as 10 Pound said, we incarcerate the most people.
Well, first and foremost, you got to think about it. The United States tends to use the people incarcerated to work. So it's a workforce. At the end of the day, it's a disposable workforce. So I know that sounds very negative because these are real people we're talking about, real people with families and lives. But at the end of the day, they're not a priority. No one's actually, the fact that you brought it up is like, yo, you're thinking about it. But majority of people aren't thinking about people in jail. It's like the last people.
It's gonna be rough, man. It's gonna be. Like I said, I know 10 Pound. I'm being overly optimistic there, but we gotta get a vaccine quick, bro. I'm talking the next, and that quick is like 6 months. That's what I'm thinking quick, and that's even too long.
Yeah, that is.
Can we go 6 more months of this, bro? It's only been 2 weeks, a week.
No.
Bro, how are they gonna do that logistically? How are they gonna deliver this logistically, bro?
I got a crypto question. So in Italy, I'm a major bank there. I don't know what the program is, like something tight. Yeah, specifically they put out some type of pilot program where people can buy crypto through the bank. So what do you think about the fact that banks now are going to be the new exchanges offering customers the options and the opportunity to buy crypto?
Going absolutely in the wrong direction. We don't need banks for crypto.
Going in the wrong direction?
No, I'm saying that whole model, that business model is stupid. We don't need banks for cryptos.
What about Ripple, my dude?
I don't like Ripple.
I don't like Ripple either, but still, it's there. It serves a purpose. I mean, also Stellar interacts with banks. Dude, they've been working with banks ever since 2015, 2016. So, I mean, like, it's nothing new.
So just some perspective, because I think everyone hears about personal sovereignty, or at least everyone gives me the air that they care about their own finances. So, with the direction with crypto and blockchain, we already know, and I've seen some prior programs with you, Crypto Blow, where you talk about institutional investment and everything like that. Mm-hmm. You remember when credit cards and debit cards came around? Like, nobody trusted that.
67.
Yeah, nobody. If you went to somebody with a debit card, they wouldn't accept that. So we've got to look at crypto somewhat in the same manner. Things that may be created as like an evolutionary standpoint or a revolutionary standpoint, or to be directly opposed to the system, at the end of the day, they become co-opted into the system. Mm-hmm. And because things like crypto and blockchain are very niche, like majority of people don't understand technology. So once you start saying something like blockchain, people in the finance world don't even understand that. So let's say that in the future stance where there's more marketing and promotion behind it, because it always comes down to that. At the end of the day, who has the finances and the money to market and promote it? Obviously the banks do. And majority of people don't understand anything about private keys, not your crypto. So at the end of the day, it would just be an investment tool, just like any stocks and bonds. And it's just a perspective.
No, I'm not saying it wouldn't benefit the system for sure, but I'm just saying the whole ethos behind cryptocurrencies is to be your own bank. And literally, what are we doing? we're going to the banks to issue us and maintain and manage our cryptocurrencies.
But that's us. That's us. We're a niche group. We came into crypto. You're OG, you feel me? I consider myself, with semi-OG, you feel me? And I came in it for the personal sovereignty, because obviously if you don't control your money, you can't be sovereign. But majority of the people who are in society, they don't understand anything about sovereignty. Like if you ask someone what is a sovereign, they'll be like, what's that? So specifically, when you ask people about financial control and financial sovereignty, the people are going to be lost in that. So at the end of the day, I think we're going to be more lost, and not us per se, but the masses will be lost more in the speculation of crypto. And because at the end of the day, who's responsible for the market and the promotion behind it? Well, currently,
what were you going to say, 10 Pound?
Oh, I gotta agree with your caller here, because of the fact that we already give these exchanges the ability to manage the people's crypto portfolios and whatnot, and they literally trust them. Like Binance, for instance, whenever they get a hack, they claim funds are safe food. They got a nice little repository of funds to back it up, but who really knows what's actually going on behind the scenes? So these banks are literally probably just going to be acting just like a cryptocurrency exchange. Sadly, proof of keys day, for instance, you know what I'm saying? Like people got to actually do the due diligence to learn about cryptocurrency, to actually care enough to want to be their own bank and to do peer-to-peer trades, or to actually get vouchers to spend and, convert. But your caller makes some really good points, I got to say, my guy. Like most people, they don't really know what this is. They probably couldn't give a rat's ass, sadly. And this is coming from an enthusiast, somebody that truly understands the decentralized nature of these protocols. I do a weekly podcast in VR over this shit. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, it is what it is, man. For the most part, some people just don't have the time to learn.
Nope.
And it's either...
Majority of people don't have the time to learn.
But now that people are under quarantine, and they probably do have the time to learn, they'd rather not. They'd rather play video games, fucking bull
Netflix
around.
And chill.
Chill, exactly. They'd rather live in ignorance. That's just a matter of fact.
That's just the masses, man. Well, O-Flow, man, appreciate the call in. And, appreciate the call in, man. We're going to wrap up, man. We're going on 2 hours now. And definitely call in again, man. Stay safe out there in Argentina.
For sure.
All right.
You as well.
All right, ladies and gents. 10 Pound, any last words, man, for the audience?
Check out my music that we were playing earlier in the show. I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be in the comments down below. Also, stay safe out there, everybody. Really enjoy modern day society while you can. Who knows what tomorrow may hold.
Right. Right. Yeah. So check him out on Twitter, guys. TPS0011 on Twitter. Check my man out. And man, we're gonna rock out to his mix. It's on SoundCloud. I'll drop the link again in the chat room, guys. So check my man's music out. Would you consider this like house music or?
Yo, it's actually technically trap, hybrid trap with some hard style in it. So yeah. That's what it comes down to.
There you go, people. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Click that bell. Man, I'm out of here, people. I'm going to get some rest. How?
Peace.
Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Okay. Ready?
Fucking thing sucks! We'll do it live.
Okay.